Hi everyone, let's start a detailed breakdown of the Sprite Shatter FX. First, choose the sprite you want to shatter. On the left panel, you can adjust the shatter settings. Let's go through them one by one. Direction and spread. In direction, you can set the direction in which the pieces will scatter. Spread controls the random angle variation around that direction. This option is disabled when radial mode is selected. Shatter grid. Here you can set the number of rows and columns, which defines how many pieces the sprite will break into. Scatter offset adds a random positional offset to each shard when it spawns. Explosion. In this section, you can adjust the explosion force and the falling speed of the shards. Advanced burst. Burst impulse adds extra force at the start for a stronger impact. Decay sharpness controls how quickly the shards slow down. Velocity retain determines how much speed they keep over time. Scale on impact briefly scales the shards at the burst moment. Peak scale sets the maximum scale during that effect. Rotation. Random start gives each shard a random starting rotation. Over lifetime makes the shards spin continuously. Min and max define the rotation speed range. Lifetime and loop. Lifetime range controls how long each shard stays alive. Each shard will randomly pick a value between the minimum and maximum you set. Loop allows the shatter effect to repeat continuously. If you disable it, the effect will play once and then stop. Color and flash. Color tint lets you apply a color to the shards over their lifetime. You can use it to match the effect with your scene or style. Flash on burst adds a quick color flash right at the moment of impact. After that, it smoothly transitions to the tint color or back to white. Turbulence. When enabled, it adds purlin noise to the shard movement, making it feel more organic and less predictable. Strength controls how much the shards are pushed off their original path. Higher values create more noticeable deviation. Frequency defines how detailed and chaotic the motion is. Higher frequency means tighter, more erratic movement. And scroll speed controls how fast the noise evolves over time. Trails. When enabled, each shard leaves a fading trail behind it, adding a nice sense of motion. Width controls how thick the trail appears in world space. You can keep it subtle or make it more pronounced. Lifetime defines how long the trail stays visible before fading out. And color lets you control both the tint and the transparency of the trail. Limit velocity. When enabled, it caps the maximum speed that shards can reach. Max speed defines that limit. If a shard goes beyond this value, it will be slowed down. Slowdown. Rate controls how quickly that happens. Lower values create a smoother, gradual slowdown, while higher values stop the shards almost instantly. Collision. When enabled, shards will physically interact with the world using 2D physics. Dampen controls how much speed is lost on each collision. Lower values keep the shards moving, while higher values slow them down significantly. Bounce defines how much the shards rebound off surfaces. At higher values, they will bounce more energetically. And layers let you choose which physics layers the shards can collide with, giving you full control over what they interact with. Finally, let's look at mask settings. When enabled, you can apply custom mask materials to the shards, allowing for stylized shapes or cutout effects. Assign mode controls how these materials are distributed. Random will assign masks unpredictably, while sequential applies them in order. And material lets you pick from available mask materials in your project. If you add new ones, just hit refresh to update the list. Now let's create a breakable object to test. On the right side, you'll find the preview section, where you can see the result directly inside the tool. You can zoom in and out using the mouse scroll, or by using the on-screen buttons. You can also move around the preview by holding down the middle mouse button and dragging. At the top, you'll find the Presets section. Here you can save your current settings, update existing presets, or delete them if needed. And that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching.